If you want to build a speaking business and find a way to get in front of more of your ideal client in a way that converts really quickly, then you've got to listen to Dr. West. Ruben West is truly a one-of-a-kind in the speaking industry. What sets him apart is not just his unique ability to motivate, transform, and inspire on the stage, but also that he helps produce other speakers into becoming really great, really profitable speakers. He runs a phenomenal program. He has authored and co-authored 10 plus books, and he is very sought after in the transformation field. He received his PhD and master's in positive neuropsychology from the American Graduate University of Positive Psychology. So Dr. West, we're so excited to have you on today. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited about the people that are listening in today. I know they're getting a treat.
They are. They're getting so much good stuff, and now we're going to give them some more good stuff. So speaking is always one of my 7 marketing strategies that I use, and it's always one that I recommend to people because it's a fast conversion strategy. So things like YouTube and blogging and Instagram, they're going to be really powerful 2 years from now. But speaking is one where you can get yourself booked, be on a stage within a short window of time, and walk out of the room with clients. And so I think this is a marketing strategy everyone should be considering.
Absolutely. And most people, when they originally come to me, they say, but Ruben, I don't want to be a speaker. That's not what I have in my mind. And my point is, everybody speaks. And I'm not talking about you have to go in front of a crowd of 10,000. What I am saying is that you have products, services, businesses, strategies that can help other people. And so why not figure out a way to put that in a way that helps people understand your brand, want to connect with you, and invest in your business. That's what I mean by that in the form of building your speaker business as an entrepreneur.
You know, one of the things that I love the best, because I spoke at your Black Belt Speakers workshop a couple of years ago, which, by the way, I'll come back anytime. It was so fun. He puts on a great event, like all the little details. It's so fun. But one thing that I will say that I loved is a lot of speaking coaches that I've worked with and interacted with, they want everybody to kind of speak like a Les Brown, you know, like they want them to all fit into the same speaker mold. And what you do is you help people identify what type of speaker they are instead of trying to fit one mold. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. Amy, most of the time when people say I'm not a good speaker, that's because they're comparing themselves to someone else.
Right.
And so if I were to compare myself to Joyce Myers or T.D. Jakes or Les Brown or Tony Robbins, I could easily say I'm not a good speaker. Well, it's not that I'm not a good speaker. I'm not them. So what I came up with was similar to the Myers-Briggs assessment. I came up with the signature speaking style assessment. And that allows individuals to take the assessment and figure out, are you a motivator? Are you heart-centered? Are you scientific? Are you a comedian? The different speaker styles. And then once we understand that, now we build on who you are. So the biggest mistake you can make, whether it's in speaking or just being in life, is to try to be someone else, because the voice will always have an echo, but the echo will never have a voice. So my job is to figure out who they are, speak authentically, and that will echo throughout the market.
Guys, that's tweetable. You should share that on social media. Say that again. Voice will never.
The voice will always have an echo, but the echo will never have a voice.
Oh, that's good. That's so good with what we were just talking about with Jess as well, with your brand, strategy. If you're trying to present yourself like somebody else, you'll always be in their shadow, and you can't grow in the shadow.
Yeah. Amy, listen real quick. I went to Las Vegas. I saw this amazing show with this Michael Jackson impersonator. He could sing, dance, do every single move just like Mike could. From a distance, you wouldn't even know who he was. You wouldn't even know it wasn't Michael Jackson. And guess what his name was?
What's that? You have no idea.
We don't know. We have no idea.
That's so true. So let's talk about the process of getting yourself booked to speak. And I just want to say, I don't care what your business is. I promise there's a place that you could speak and acquire clients. And if you don't believe me, reach out to Dr. West and he'll show you where that is. But we all have that in our business. There's a place, there's a meeting, there's an association, there is some platform where we could go, we could deliver a message, and we could walk out with clients. How do they start getting more of those opportunities?
I think the first thing is to be clear on what it is that you offer, and watch this. And that offering is you're solving some kind of problem. So depending on what kind of problem it is that you solve, there's a group of people that are going to try and figure out how to get that problem solved. And that's why I do the diagnostics. What is the problems that you solve? And then once you understand those problems, where are the people that have those problems? Where do they gather at? Is there a meetup? Is there a meeting group? Is it at a church? Is it at an organization, a school? They're there somewhere. And that's the great thing about social media now, is because people with similar problems can get together and talk.
Absolutely. And I'm not joking when I say there's no industry not accessible to this. Like if you were, you sell pest control and you might be going, well, I sell pest control. Who wants to hear a motivational speak about pest control? It might not be motivational. It might be informational. And guess what? What are the people who inspect home inspectors? They want to know about pest control. So you go to the Home Inspectors Association. Like there's a place for everybody. And absolutely, if you go in to pitch your services, you're going to get a lot of no's. If you go in to solve a problem and educate and inform, motivate, inspire, that's where you're going to be able to get those opportunities. So what is your advice for somebody who has not utilized this but wants to get started? What's the first thing they do?
Well, one thing they can do is, again, make a list of what problems that they solve. And then once they make that list, they can do a search on where those people would be. Oftentimes people get overwhelmed, Damien. I understand, because when you've never done it before, it seems hard. It's not hard. What's hard is doing something that someone else has done over and over and over again. But once you've done it a few times, it gets much easier. So what I would suggest them to do is to have somebody that can help them, because some of the times we don't know how to articulate what the problem is that we solve. And so it's good to have somebody ask us some questions, someone who's good at asking questions, because questions still focus. And in life, you only get what you focus on, and whatever you focus on the longest becomes the strongest. So if you can have somebody ask those questions and pull it out of you, they can help you get to those issues real quick.
I love that. And then for the people who are already speaking, but they're wanting to really accelerate their speaking business, make it a stronger part of their platform in 2020, what advice do you have for them?
So one of the things I think you should do is you should team up with an organization or a group that can help you get booked. One of the biggest problems with people that speak is that they're not good at getting the gig. They're great when they get on stage. They're great while they're on stage. They're great afterwards in the follow-up. But what they're not great at doing is making those initial phone calls. So either you have to get a script and get comfortable with the script, or you have to get somebody that can help you do that. Because there's people, that's their expertise. And so if it's not what you're expert at and you don't want to take the time to learn it, then that's what you have to do. Keep this in mind. No business will ever fail because of what you're great at. It fails because of the things that you're not good at, that you don't take the time to get help with.
That is such good wisdom right there, you guys. And I just want to stress that so much, that it's not that you're not good on stage, it's that you're not promoting yourself well. And it is okay to say, I am great at my service and I am weak at marketing. It's just not okay to say, I'm great at my service, so I just won't market because I'm weak at it. That's not okay. So you absolutely have to be getting pitched consistently over and over and over again. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they don't have to pay for that. One of the things they could do is they can offer bring somebody on contract. Hey, if you help me get a speaking gig, I'll give you a certain percent. If it's a paid event, if it's a speak to sell event, I'll give you a percentage of the sales. So either way, even with minimal or no investment, they can still get the help that they need.
Absolutely. And there are people that that have agencies, small agencies. This is one thing I will say for emerging speakers is that, you're going to have a hard time with the big agencies, and the big agencies aren't going to hustle to pitch you. Okay. But there are people out there, if you will look and you'll find them and ask around, that they do this where they have a handful of speakers that they just pitch over and over again. They get a percentage off of them. You know, talk with other speakers and ask them who they're using, and find a person that's going to be a good fit for you. Because I know for me, I'm not just a speaker. I am a business owner first, business consultant first, speaker second. I speak to get clients. And I don't have time to be the one that pitches me. If I'm the one that's pitching me, I'm not speaking very much.
Right. Right. And you're not helping your clients.
Yeah, I know. And the whole reason I'm speaking is because I want to meet new clients, you know? So
Right.
it makes sense for me to have that job. I've got to have some help in there.
I love it.
Awesome. Okay. Here's a question. What is one thing you wish speakers would stop doing?
One thing I wish they would stop doing is limiting themselves. See, the biggest limit is in our mind. When we think we can't do what we think we won't be good at. We can't put together this message. We can't go in front of this crowd. In the end, it's really just a matter of training. You know, there's a concept called the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. And I teach this to my 8-year-old son. The fixed mindset says, this is what I'm not good at, and I'll never be good at it. The growth mindset says, I'll be good at it with a little help, with a little practice. And so what I want them to do is stop limiting themselves and saying, hey, this is what I can't do. All you really have to do is get a little bit of help. Everything we know, we learn somewhere. And it allows us to open up doors for ourselves.
One of the things you and I met through Trevor Otts and Shea Brown, that was how we got connected.
Yes.
And they totally took this principle and ran with it. So they were not getting booked for anybody's stages. And so they started hosting these events and inviting all the speakers to their stages. And now I hardly ever see them hosting their own big live events, because they went out, they're booked all the time now. Like, those guys are somewhere different all the time. So my question for you is, when they're hitting that obstacle where they're, you know, they're struggling and they're seeing all of these doors close, and you're wanting them to shift into growth mindset where they can look for new opportunities that maybe they haven't seen before, how do you encourage them to think outside the box and create their own opportunities?
Well, that's exactly what I do. You know, my mentor is Les Brown, and everybody wanted to speak on stage with Les Brown, and yeah, I did too. But it was just easier for me to create my own live events and have him come to my stage. If you get good enough, if you put in enough focus and work, the people will want to come to you, no matter how big they are, because they want new customers, they want new clients. And so the way I help with clients is I look at what is it that they're good at, and then how can we bring people in their area or from around the country to a location so that they can help them solve problems. People will show up where their needs are met. That's why the hospitals, ERs are busy, because people show up to get their needs met. That's why airports are busy, because people need travel. They're showing up to get their needs met. If you put on a conference where you're meeting a certain type of need and then advertise to the right market, they'll show up, even if it's virtual. I mean, look at what you're doing right now. How many people are listening right now, or how many people are registered?
Yeah,
quite
we got
a bit.
1,000 registered.
1,000 registered.
This for me was
that
platform for that too, where when I very first started my business, I had a newborn baby, I had an 18-month-old, I had a 4-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 9-year-old. So I couldn't go on the road and go speak. And so I was like, all right, I can't go on the road and go speak. What can I do? I can host summits like this where I'm at home. I don't have to travel. I can reach a lot of people, and I can still use my message and share my message and have that be a way to connect with potential clients. So I think that growth mindset versus the limited mindset is so critical, because I don't think there's any problem that can't be solved in your business if you'll approach that attitude of like, hey, I'm learning how to be great at this. I'm developing my skill set.
Exactly. And I'm developing relationships with people who can help me, even if it's a customer or contractor relationship that can help me with an area of my business.
Absolutely. I love it all. All right. I'm so enthralled with this conversation that I didn't even realize we're out of time. So Where can everyone get connected with you, and what's their best next step?
So perfect. You can connect with me at my website, rubenwest.com, rubenwest.com. Also, if you want to interview from somebody on my team or myself, they can text the word visibility. That's the summit, visibility, to 785-222-4007. The word visibility to 785-222-4007. And we can help you look at the exact strategies you need. And then we can also help you take the assessment to find out what kind of speaker or communicator you are.
That is honestly, it's one of my favorite things, because I struggled with that speaker comparison until I realized I'm an informational speaker. I'm the scientist. And as soon as I got that, I was like, good to go. So I love it. Thank you so much, Ruben, for being on. We really appreciate you.
Thank you.
And I'm going to move you back.